see our level damage. Search. Oh, I get it.
Man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Like, oh wait, this could be a lot of damage right here. Oh, never mind. I take it back. It's another quick. Wow. Vortex kick. Vortex kick. Bart's
And
down.
killing that Bart.
Gotta be game.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that's game.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Week 6 of the Charming Division, WBEL. I'm your host, Manta, joined by my co-host, Itomanpr. Good evening, Itoman. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself, Manta? Good to have you back with us.
Thank you. My family is, one member of the formation higher this week, so by the end of this, if someone wants to cast sleep on me, I won't complain. So let's get into the standings as we jump into Week 6. Right now we have Turambar with 5 points. He does have that extra point for using his entire roster, followed closely by Itomanpr with the same record, 4-1. 3-2 we have Maverick and ShadowSnatcher. 2-3 we have LXD92 and myself, along with Vincent, aka WickedAwesomeSausage, Sandrooster, and Dervis. However, at this time, LXD and myself have both used the entire roster, so we do have that extra point. And with a little bit of work to do, we have Detto sitting at 1-4. So let's get into this week's matches.
Let's do it.
So for our first match, we have Detto up against Maverick. On Detto's side, we have Whisper, Bronwell, and Valade. And on Maverick's side, we have Resol, Velnay, and McLeod. So let's see how it goes.
Let's do this. Goons of a Higher Cause, Region Physical Shield on Detto's side. Maverick starts with his Pierce and Rizzle. Interesting. Rizzle.
Very interesting comp there. Not one you'd expect to see every day. For Detto, I'm kind of hoping he has some Pierce resist here. But the regen online for the entire team is definitely going to help him out. And, not sure that buff is really going to do a whole lot here. The elements he was kind of expecting don't seem to be on Maverick's side, but he does have a lot of sustain right now and some tanking, and that's a pretty good start from Whisper right there.
But Whisper is very good on blocking certain attack types. This blocking Pierce could be right up her alley. Bronwell also has a Pierce resistant buff with that initial buff she used earlier. So along with the damage resistance that she gets, I think they're both pretty set to take on what's coming from Maverick's side.
I agree. I do like the spear play on this map with this weird range height. I think it was mentioned in the blind video. You can get some ranged attacks from what are otherwise close range spear units. But here comes the Resol Limit Break, Edge of the Void, not something we see very often. Lowering that healing power on the Whisper, that could be a huge thing as this match goes on. But that is not very much damage right there.
Doesn't look like there's going to be much to heal.
That was a little more damage right there. Whisper still tanking pretty well. Let's see if Valade, Valade getting in there with a cure.
Oh, doesn't even need anything stronger than.
Another LB here that we don't see. Wow, that was more damage than I anticipated. So I really like how Detto's playing this match so far. It is very hard to take any HP off him on a turn-to-turn basis.
Oh, look at that. Not even Bronwell or Whisper. They both barely took any damage. And now it's back on Detto's side.
Ouch.
Oh. Yeah.
Bronwell really showing up this match, huh? It was not a lot of damage for a while, but that was a pretty strong attack right there. And there's the end of the match. Wow.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, that was a masterclass in sustain by Detto.
That was a beatdown.
I know Resol doesn't always have the most damage ever, but Velnay and McLeod can usually put out quite a bit of damage, so I'm kind of thinking Detto might have anticipated Pierce there and built against it. But even so, I mean, his defense there was next to impossible to break through.
Even with the healing power down, there just wasn't enough damage to have that make an impact. Whisper, like I mentioned, Whisper pretty much has a lot of Pierce pierce resistance along with her other resistance. If Detto built that up, Whisper could have just tanked that no problem. And the Bronwell, after seeing her in several matches, I did a little look into her kit, and she seems to be adept at handling spear as well. So it was a very good call on Detto's side. Apparently, he was expecting what Maverick brought out, and it showed.
I agree. That was
control.
a very, very, very well built and well prepared team to deal with what Maverick was throwing out there. So, hats off to both players, and congrats to Detto on the win there.
GG, well fought. Congrats to Detto on the win.
So for our next match, we have myself bringing out Etra, Yuna, and 2P versus LXD92. Also bringing out Bronwell, paired with, why can I never remember her name? Minwoo and Lemure. Thanks for the save. Let's get into it.
Alright, so we have the Earth Girls, and we have a lot of hasten, quickening, and Bronwell action.
Well, I think you just previewed what we may see throughout this match. So getting into my strategy here, I wanted the Earth Girls to be back a little bit, boost their luck up, get some of their buffs online. And Yuna, with that devout AI who doesn't always like to move very much, I wanted to make sure she was in range to get a buff that would hit everyone, because looking at LXD's roster, he's heavy on light. I honestly didn't expect 2 dark units or 0 light units in general, so that Aurora of Blessings TMR hopefully going to help me out here, but as you called it, I see 2 haste so far. Bronwell's using Revitalize here, so she is not going to be hurting on the AP for the rest of the match.
AP for ages.
And, well, no invasion online yet for 2P, and she's jumping into the match, so here's where I start to hope, okay, is it accuracy or is it evasion that's going to take this match? So let's find out after this quicken.
Oh, quick. And here we go. Let's see if LXD came prepared. Oh.
So far, so good.
Back attack.
Indeed.
Etra, we have Etra doing buffs this time.
Yes, we fixed her AI
So
a little bit there.
Manta figured that part out.
Indeed, I did. And hey, I got Yuna to actually walk to a different space 2 in a row, which is nice with her new enhanced Kuraga. Well, it's not really new anymore, but here comes the Quicken Chain. And here's where I'm hoping we might get an evade this time. But after Yuna casting a Kuraga, gain some hate there. And here comes an LB.
For the back line.
Yes. So,
Oh.
Similar to our last match, Bronwell puts out a lot of damage.
And now comes Minwoo.
I'll give you one guess what she's casting.
I don't think Bronwell's in range though. So it might be a quicken on Lemire. Lemire's turn was coming up anyway, but
yes.
Is this a quicken to the quicken?
It's very possible. But, channeling their inner numero from season 1 there with the Quicken Chain here.
Oh,
Quicken into a guard haste, so her defense is up.
Good.
She's got Quicken, she's got haste, and there's a dodge for
dodging.
me, which is nice. However, he also has heals on his side. So I'm a little concerned at this point that even if I can evade everything from here to the end of the match, he might be able to just continue to soak up damage and, out haste me the entire time.
Here comes LXD again. Oh!
Bronwell popping off yet again.
What? Took her out in one shot.
Etra can put her dancing shoes on, but
they're not feeling that pain.
Unless she can somehow kill everyone, which is unlikely. The best that I can do is have 1 unit standing here.
Seems no one else can kill her either, so, you got that going for you.
So far so good. But, at this point, the additional luck is, I think, wearing off, which is not good.
Oh, and there goes your luck.
Indeed, it does. So.
Oh man, that was tough.
I'm gonna say, hats off to LXD there. he just completely shut me down, and I have to tip my cap to him because I sat there with, when that match ended, really no words with how thoroughly and utterly I just got destroyed. And it was impressive, and I'm all for it. Basically, I just said that I got thoroughly and utterly destroyed. It was impressive, and I'm all for it, and I'm wondering what your thoughts were.
So I have to agree. You got your buffs right. You were evading. Your evasion was on point. The bulk on LXD's side and the haste and the quickens. They took out your sustain early on.
Yeah.
That part was unfortunate, that you couldn't sustain yourself the same way that LXD could. Seems like a rough matchup.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I most of all was surprised to see no light units, but we've now seen it 2 matches in a row. Bronwell's a beast, and she's apparently a pretty defensive wall too, and she's hard to get through. So yeah, maybe had units stayed up and I'd be able to, get some sustain in there. Maybe taking out one of the quickeners might have stood a chance, but like I said before, I tip my cap to LXD. Solid, yep. More than solid win.
Very strategic beatdown.
Indeed.
Well done by LXD.
GG's. For our next match, we have Itomanpr, the promising newcomer, Splash and Ziza, Halloween Lucia, and Lizette, against Sandrooster with Celis, Curry, and Eliza. So let's get into it.
My favorite girls right there. The dark girls.
The only 2 home screen units you have.
There we go. So my plan here was to evade and hopefully tank some piercing and missile unit. So I was quite pleased to see the missile on Sandrooster's side. So now it's just a question if I can actually evade and get over to Sandrooster. So
true. Well, one thing I don't like in your favor at this moment is I see Celis, and unless I'm mistaken, Halloween Lucia only has 1 attack that can't eat through Runic, so that's a little bit concerning, especially if he can get some frostbite down on you.
I'm a little concerned about that aspect. I believe her Toad spell is the one that goes through Runic. But
a lot of damage, but you're hanging on. Well, never mind.
There goes Lisette. She took 2 arrows, so.
And there's Runic coming into play.
Yep.
But your physical shield right there, soaking up probably just a little bit of damage, and that is not evasion that I see right there.
Well, that was a sharpshoot, so not really Ziza's fault.
No, not at all, but this is...
And Halloween Lucia,
using
her AoE spells that all get sucked up by Celis' Runic. Unfortunate.
This is not looking good for you at the moment. But I do like watching Celis spin. I'll never get over that, LB. There's your evasion right there.
Ziza is evading, so that's good,
More physical shield. I kind of do like how his units are lined up. If Lucia can live
this is exactly what I want to see. Ziza's Limit Burst, getting some guaranteed hit nullify. So that gives me a fighting chance.
Very good.
As long as there's not enough accuracy.
True. Wow, you are hanging on by a thread right now.
So that barely breaks through the barrier.
Well, Eliza just did give you a taste of your own medicine, but this fight turned a lot quicker than I anticipated.
And no reflex this time, and
wow.
Ziza is able to seal the deal.
That... I thought you were a goner. That was quite the turnaround.
Too. Yep. I knew that once I saw the missile unit, Ziza had to use her Limit Burst. Otherwise, this battle would have been over. So the moment I saw Celis move back to use her own Limit Burst, I kind of saw an opening for my Ziza. It gave me the win, because otherwise Halloween Lucia was barely holding on. Had Ziza not had the guaranteed hit, Eliza might have been able to clean up everything.
Maybe I missed something, but I didn't see a Frostmaw barrage from Curry, which I think if that
Curry-
had been able to land on your whole team,
Curry used it on Lisette.
hit just Lisette. Okay.
He got baited on Lisette, but Lisette came well prepared.
I see that.
Lisette had Truststone Res for Frostbite and had Dark Bahamut.
Extra frostbite resist, yes. Well, I mean, she came well prepared until Celis just killed her the next turn. But hey, we're not here to dispute that one. Yeah, that was quite the turnaround. I'm surprised you pulled that comeback off.
Felt good to pull it off with Caesar.
I can imagine it did.
And Halloween Lucia. So
Your
Dark
favorites.
Girls for the win.
Well, GG's to both players, and congrats on your 5th win.
GG's. Well fought, Sandrooster.
So for our next
With
match,
that-
we have Snatcher with Lisette, Tifa, and 2P versus Dervis with Murmur, Howl at the Heavens Blade, and Agrius. That came to me after a second there, so let's get into it. A rare level 120 unit in this match. You do not see too many of those.
Oh, they're Agrius.
Agrius, yes. You know, the purgatory that Tactics is in. One day. I'll actually pick up Scion's one that reruns for the first time.
Are we going to see some fast casts? Yes. Remember
Yes,
getting
indeed.
off for fast casts? Fist
So-
Girls getting another round of buffs.
I'm not sure I like Tifa's chances here. I see 2 ice units on the other side. Similar to my match previously, I think that if 2P can get to evading here, that might offset what I anticipate will be Tifa's weakness, even if she can take out that Murmur. But here we go, starting damage from Howlet. Taking about half the health and healing back.
Even good damage on Agrius. Interesting.
Looks like a full chain here if Murmur can live, and she does. I would anticipate this will take out the Lisette, but 2P looks like she's not in range for hitting the Murmur there, so that works well for Dervis. Now
Ooh,
that
so close.
so close, but 2B I believe has her evade counter on now here, so that could prove deadly if we get there. But it looks like Murmur's getting lapped here by the fast cast, so I'm anticipating this move will go off against nothing. And there's Howlet hitting max damage. Well, that was a quick 1-2 punch against those 2 units.
All this time, Murmur was casting a spell to kill Lisette. Oh man.
And
Regen
Dervis
on-
right now is going to be tough to bite through regen on 3 different units, but this could... Well, I take that back. When you kill 2 of them in one go, this went from a 3v1 to a 1v1 pretty quickly. And this 2P has got her dancing shoes on.
Everyone else died.
Yes.
2P versus Dervis. Howlet.
Looks like the evade counter wore off, but I don't know if Howlet really is going to have a chance to hit here. The last few turns have been all misses, so a little concerned here for what looked, and there's an evade, which doesn't help. Man, this is quite the turn, I gotta say. And another miss. I think this kind of seals the deal right there. There it is.
Like it.
Well,
Damn.
when I saw just 1 unit remaining and regen on all 3 units, I kind of thought Dervis had that one in the bag, but apparently, just like your match, we have 2 nail biters that were complete turnarounds in the end. So
Definitely.
this 2P did what mine couldn't, and that is evade and fight back. So, wow.
Your 2P didn't get that second buff off, right?
She did not, and I'm thinking with this map, turning Basil Smash, whatever it's called, the one where she leaps forward, probably would have been a good idea because she would have hung back an extra turn and probably gotten that off. I guess I didn't realize the range height, but not to talk more on my match. That was well prepared by Snatcher there, even if it looked bleak for a moment. 2P showing what she can do on this map and most, which is evade and destroy.
Definitely. I was impressed by the damage dealt out by Agrias particularly. Usually she lacks a lot of penetration, so I was surprised that she was doing as much damage as she did. And they were off to a very solid lead in the beginning when they took out Lisette and Tifa. 2P's evasion definitely came in to save the day at the end.
Came in clutch, that's for sure.
The evasion was on point and the damage was there.
Certainly was a
Fought.
turnaround. So with that, GG's to both players, and congrats to Snatcher on picking up the win.
GG's. Well played, Snatcher.
Alright, for our last match of the day, we have Turambar rocking Minwoo, Mary Luke, and 2P versus WickedAwesomeSausage with Ramada, Naya, and Ibarra. So let's get into it.
Is this offensive Minwoo? Is she back for blood?
Well, she took that personally the last time. So 2P starting off with her usual buff here. Defense will work against Ramada, but not going to do a whole lot against Ibarra. However, I do like the 2P play against Ibarra here. I have a feeling that Ibarra will have a tough time hitting or surviving against an Earth unit, but if Ramada can get that Berserk onto these units and get them to continue normal attacking while Naya sits in the back and heals, there's a chance that he could whittle down the HP, so let's see how it goes.
The initial position working out great for Turambar. The 2P is getting all the buffs he could want, and Mariluke giving her more attack up, strike attack, and protect. Looking very ready to bring in pain.
Mary Luke's another one of those units that I don't think I ever see, ever, so I have no idea what her kit really does. Well, getting into the damage here, you've got a hasted up 2P with her evade counter online now. So that is a pretty good thing for Turambar. Ibarra not in range to do anything, and it looks like she's eaten through all her buffs, so I'm anticipating a heal here from Naya, get Ramada back up to full HP, and can she hit here? Here's the big... She can hit Minwoo. And Minwoo just says, I'll just shake that off with a counter cure. And that is one of the longest range heals I've ever seen.
That healing came from afar.
Would this be offensive Minwoo?
Oof, look at that. And down she goes.
That's a one hit.
You called it. Ibarra wasn't very good.
That's a lot of damage from Mariluke too.
Oh, Minwoo was going for the Ibarra.
Offensive Minwoo returns.
Bloody. Ooh.
Well, Naya's in the back, and I think she has full life here, so I'm going to guess that that's what we're going to see.
She gets 2 casts of that, so that might be helpful.
Indeed, and another life here. I would think that if she could get off a reflect, it might play a part. Maybe against Minwoo, but against 2P and Mariluke, I'm not sure I like those chances right now.
Here comes 2P to send her back to the grave.
Not quite.
Oh,
not
no
quite.
follow-up. So maybe
Ibarra
she
making
gets
her
a turn.
entrance into the fight here. Not a whole lot of damage. Lower
She
HP
has the
unit like
accuracy.
2P.
She has the accuracy at least, but not the damage.
True. She does, but I'm anticipating either another haste here.
Oh.
Defense up, not going to do much, but she's in range here, and I think she might be able to hit both units this time. Yep.
Boom.
Jumping right in the middle.
Naya.
I would
Keep sustaining the team.
Mariluke sitting in the back and supporting herself again. Nice.
Another haste from the Minwoo.
There's some damage from Ibarra. Going for the back line now. She can't hurt the 2P too. She can certainly do well enough against the back line. I'm anticipating a cure here, or greater long vigoration.
Naya, time to heal up again.
Can Mariluke get in before the cast goes off? And she can.
Uh-oh. Yeah. And now 2P gets another turn.
I think
It's
this
like
is
this
all
fight
she
is
wrote.
over. Yep.
There it is. Well.
Oh man.
Well prepared by Turambar there. As I said, as the match got off, I liked the 2P into Ibarra matchup. We saw a lot of sustain that fight, that it almost went to turns. I think that match kind of played out how I anticipated it would have. Didn't really get to see Maverick do all that much. As we saw in the last match, 2P can really just carry the fight on her own, so that's what we saw.
2P pretty much had a pretty comfortable win there.
Indeed.
So,
the only thing I'm a little sad we didn't get to see was that Ultima go off and how much damage it might have done after she surprised us in week 1.
I know, right?
I would say well played. GG's to both players, and congrats to Turambar on picking up the win.
Congrats to Turambar. Well fought. GG.
All right, so after our 5 battles this week, here are the standings at the end of week 6. In first place right now we have Turambar, 6 points with a 5-1 record. He also has the extra point from using his entire roster. With the same record, but 5 points, is my guest here, Itomanpr, who has, as he told me, 1 singular unit to go on his roster that he's saving for the right time.
Yep.
With 4 points, we have LXD92 and ShadowSnatcher, as well as Maverick. ShadowSnatcher, the only one in that group who has not yet used his entire roster. At 3 points, myself, and that is only because I have used my entire roster. Outside the playoffs right now, we have WickedAwesomeSausage, Sandrooster, Dervis, and Detto, all with 2 points. With that, thank you guys for tuning in this week, and we will catch you next week.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember to use your units.
3 more weeks to go.
Looking
Indeed.
forward to next week's matches.
Indeed. Take care, everyone.
Good luck and good night.